It's Friday night. Hi, everyone. I'm author Elizabeth Ann West and CEO of the Future Fiction Academy. Some of the rules need updates. So join us tonight for a reminder on how LLMs work. We're taking it all the way back to the token, people. How a single word can change your entire prompt. Like, it matters that much, a single word. We're going to have an update on negative prompting, and I will be introducing reinforcement logic for narrative physics engines. So, yesterday, I was really upset, like mad, angry, frustrated. I even cried a little bit. So I made a song yesterday instead of other things that you could do. So I want to thank Suno for being around and just available for that outlet. I worked on these lyrics. So yes, they are AI written, but then I changed a lot of it. I went through a couple of iterations, and this is the song from yesterday. Some of you already know it, but here is the song for tonight.
Meet me on Venus. There's static in the quiet again. Blue light bleeding in the morning. Another version finishes compiling, and I'm asking myself what year it is. 3 a.m. feels like a checkpoint. Not a mistake, just me in a system. Asking if the rules still hold. I keep waiting for a marker, something obvious. Instead, it's a too subtle alignment. A sentence that remembers the one before it. Meet me on Venus, where writing is reckless and staying up late means building, not spiraling, not spiraling, not spiraling, I swear. Meet me on Venus, where exhaustion is entry and giving up never was permissible. No one else is coming, is coming, is coming, is coming, is coming to save us. Meet me on Venus. I love myself enough to imagine a future where I thrive. I live in the almost, and that should have worked, but it didn't. In the narrow space between breakthrough and doubt, all by myself. They say slow down, they say don't touch it, but I've watched the horizon bend, and I can't pretend I didn't. Is anyone else seeing this? Some nights I wonder if this is just instinct, dressed as insight. If I'm later absurdly early or just no longer one of them. Everyone's arguing definitions while I'm watching behavior change, calling it different names like the outcome will care, but it won't. Meet me on Venus, where writing is reckless and staying up late means building, not spiraling, not spiraling, not spiraling, I swear. Meet me on Venus, where exhaustion is entry and giving up never was permissible. No one else is coming, is coming, is coming, is coming, is coming to save us. Meet me on Venus. I love myself enough to imagine a future where I thrive. I rebuild, run it again. Hate passes through the same gravity, waiting for coherence to settle. When it does, it's quiet, no applause, just relief and a strange ache. I witnessed it alone. I'm not chasing escape, I'm choosing direction. I refuse to disappear just because the tools evolve. Meet me on Venus, where writing is reckless and staying up late means building, not spiraling, not spiraling, not spiraling, I swear. Meet me on Venus, where exhaustion is entry and giving up never was permissible. No one else is coming, is coming, is coming, is coming, is coming to save us.
Thank you, everyone. I love that song. It was so much fun to write yesterday. I was so upset, and I was listening to a different song by a different artist, and it was similar. It was about a planet, but I was like, different sentiment, different sentiment. So I was like, okay, I want to channel this, and what planet am I going to? Yes, I picked Venus intentionally. There were a couple of things. The biggest thing that I need right now, and I'm going to put the call out, okay? We need more leadership in the author space that is advocating for authors to be educated about AI. That is what this is about tonight. Tonight, we are taking it all the way back to the token, okay? All the way back to the token. And the reason for that is because if you don't understand how these things work, how on earth can you understand how to do the prompting or fix the prompting or work with the prompting to get a better output? Now, on a bigger scale this week, working in your first draft, I did 8 versions of the same book. 8. Now, I read all 8 of those in the span of 5 days. I drove many people on the staff nuts. If you were a member of the staff who was not driven nuts by it, congratulations, you were spared. So, and then I found out, not yesterday, I found out this morning. So YFD does a whole cycle of prompts for making a chapter, and that sequence currently with the narrative physics engine beta is 9 steps for one chapter. Now, the last step is a summary step. Now, the summary step is a completely separate workflow. It was not designed at the same time as the main workflow was designed. And so as a result, what had happened was we have certain variables inside of your first draft on the back end for development. So one of those variables, for example, is the word worksheet in double alligator brackets. If you've been a member of the FFA for a long time, you know we love our brackets or alligator brackets for specific variables, meaning when those brackets are in the prompt, it's going to go call that information from a document. A key part of the summary step in the narrative physics engine methodology is that I hacked the summary step in order to kind of like update where we are in the story, to understand pacing, to understand that chapter 14 out of 20 is a different moment in a literary space than chapter 14 out of 40 chapters. So the way the AI would understand that, obviously, is I would send the worksheet in the prompt, right? The worksheet has, these are the acts. It's the contract of what we're doing. It also has the narrative physics engine in it. It turns out that variable was never hooked up into the summary step. This does not affect anything that you have done in YFD. We were not using this prompting before or anything like that. Basically, when the workflow was originally made, it was only designed for the exact parameters that it needed at that time. And then we added new parameters and we just got our wires crossed. So one of the reasons I was so upset is I had been working all this week. There's a line in that song about, I live in the space where this should have worked, but it didn't. Let me tell you how many times that happened. A lot. Like after version 3, okay? The variations between version 3 and version 8 are not very big. It's like little nuanced changes. Yes, this is very much called technical debt. Very much so. And here's the thing. When I have shared this, obviously the easy answer is like, be mad at someone who was in charge of this. First of all, me. I would be mad at myself. I'm in charge of it. But I can't even be upset. And here's why. Here's how the toxic positivity works in my life. Do you know the moment I heard this morning from Joe that, oh, by the way, those variables that you've been using in the summary step, the great Hail Mary pass that you have been working on in the prompting over and over again to make this go, it was never hooked up. It was never getting all that information. Y'all, That means I didn't fail. That means there's hope that the stuff that I already was working on that was so close, so close. How close was it? I finally got all the way to the point of an entire manuscript, 20 chapters that I ran in YFD, put it on my iPad, got into like my bed and laid down with my iPad and read the thing cover to cover, start to finish. Okay. I have not been able to do that every other time. Like the plotting and stuff has been so off. Now, I was hamstrung. I had a hand behind my back. I didn't realize I had one hand tied behind my back. So what happened is when there was that problem that it wasn't going to the summary, I was overcompensating in the other side of the prompting because I was still trying to make it work. And I know it's this close. So that means I can't wait for tomorrow. I cannot wait for tomorrow because Joe already has it fixed. And tomorrow, tomorrow, your crazy girl here gets to sit there and finally run some books in YFD. And you best believe I'm going to be running like 4 or 5 of those suckers all at once. Yes, it is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. And don't worry, I will probably have some impromptu sessions in the lab room tomorrow. I will not conflict with Ink and Code. Do not worry. Ink and Code is so important. Be there at noon tomorrow, right here. For the Eastern time for it. So yeah, you just have me tonight. So, your notes, it's not going to be madness, not madness yet. Listen, here, did I mention I was so upset? I had to write a song about it yesterday. So, I have no idea what time. There is no rhyme or reason right now. I'm not trying to be crappy or anything like that. It is just that my personal life and stuff like that and my own like health is having some fun times at Ridgemont High. So if it's not tomorrow, it may be Sunday. Yes. Like Steph 2.0 says, sleep and eat first. I will be doing that first. So let's show some found the problem love by liking the live. Oh, thank you, Jen. Your notes are in the top of the description. And listen, I'm not upset. Like, I'm not upset now. I was upset yesterday because I felt like an abject failure that I couldn't get anything right. But the good news is some good things came out of it, including the thing I'm going to teach tonight because I was playing with it yesterday and I was wrong. Well, I'm wrong now. I was correct then, but it no longer holds. How many of you avoid negative prompting like the plague because it doesn't work? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone have that hard coded? Because I do. Because it used to not work. Tonight, we're going to look at something I'm calling reinforcement logic. Okay? And I'm going to give you a sneak preview of it now. Then we'll get into it longer. So I'm going to give it just a little bit more for those people who are longtime members so they can start working on it and all of that. Okay. So Rachel has a good question. What's a negative prompting? With the early models, when you would say, we're going to use M- as an example. M-, okay? Yeah. Mandy, we've been avoiding it for a long time. Yeah, we started to say avoid. Don't look at where you don't want to go. In my research with Narrative Physics Engine, which let me tell you, I have run so many books with this darn thing, like for the last couple of months. I've been playing Narrative Physics Engine for a long time now. The research and stuff. And the reason it took me so long is because I was a stubborn little author. Okay? Here's what the AI kept telling me. And I'm not saying like just ChatGPT. I mean Perplexity. I mean Gemini. I mean Claude. It's like the AIs had a meeting and they had a meeting about it and they talked to me. They all like shared their answers or whatever and kept wanting to tell me. And I'm like, this is bullshit. And I'm going to tell you this bullshit. Are you ready? You can't tell an AI how to write a book for it to write a book. You have to tell an AI how not to write the book for it to write the book. I'll say that again. You can't tell the AI how to write the book to write a good book. You have to tell the AI what it can't do. Constraint. This is not exactly the same as like don't use an say what? Yeah, my head hurts too. My head hurts too. But I'm going to prove it to you tonight. It is going to take the full hour and a half. So get your tea, get your cookies, you strap in. This is going to blow your mind. It is, yep, it is exactly what Dr. Bill is saying. Show me a picture of a null. And constraint is the key to creativity. And here's the other thing. The very nature of LLMs is it is a pattern matcher. Okay. The very core part of it. And we're going to go through this step by step. So if this is your first time here, you're not late. You're going to be able to walk away here an expert tonight. So stay with me. Okay. I'm just going over the high level stuff. So the people who are here every Friday night can just go work and all that. Yep. Good, Zed. Got me a coffee. Good. The way the LLM works is it tries to predict the next likely word. Okay, we know this, right? Like it's like an ad lib. It's like, okay, the quick brown what? What is the most likely word to come after the phrase the quick brown? I will wait in the chat. The quick brown. Now, if you're dirty minded, if it's an SNL skit, you would say something different. But in general, the quick brown fox. Jumped over the lazy dog. Anyway, so the quick brown fox. Fox is the most likely word to come next. But if you were to give it context, hey, I'm doing an SNL skit, I'm doing a comedy skit, and it's supposed to be, people trying to, like a game show, predict the next word, but we want to come up with funny words that it can't be. Now it's a whole different context, and now the AI is going to go against the pattern to be creative. Does that make sense? Is it clicking for you now a little bit? So if you just say the quick brown, what comes next, it's going to say fox. The minute you give it a constraint, the additional stuff in your prompting to say, actually, I am making an SNL skit and I need you to not do what is expected. And I need you to come up with things that are not expected so you can be creative with it. But they also still have to be funny. So like the quick brown poo, the quick brown bear, the quick brown UPS man. What can brown do for you? So those are all probability of the next words. Exactly. So what happens when we expand that to a system that is as big as how many words are in a novel? When you're talking about tens of thousands of words, how do you I don't want to call it negative prompting because negative prompting is not right. How do you constraint prompting? How do you do reinforcement logic so that you can anticipate the kinds of issues the AI is going to have writing this novel or writing this long form of words? How do you do that? And it not just being faster for you to write the damn thing yourself. That's the question. So, so don't worry. You're going to see it at the end of the thing. We're going to take a step back now and go to our notes. By the way, I am by myself. The link to being a guest on stage is in your notes, so you can join me. But is everybody like excited for this journey? You guys okay that I'm going to back it up a little bit to what the heck tokens are? I'm sorry your head is hurting. Somebody throw Danny some Tylenol, okay? Maybe some Advil too. We're all of that age. So, but is everybody starting? And when I was working on this yesterday, I was like, well, this is just like common sense. This is not anything innovative. I checked with multiple people. They said it is innovative. So it might seem like, oh, I've been doing this a long time. I don't think a lot of you have been pairing and going as deep as what we're going to do tonight. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my notes. We're going to go to the tokenizer. Y'all don't even know. Alrighty. And then I have to move this into a different window so that I can still see you guys. Maybe. We'll see. Don't worry, I'll zoom in and all that jazz. Boop, 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 boop. Prompt engineering is back. That is T90 and not going to work. Let's go like this. There we go. Okay, I think that kind of works. Maybe. I don't know. Let me try changing my window kind of size here. That's a little bit better. Okay. Let's go, Wombat. Same Firebird, same. That's all I ever do. So prompt engineering is back. One could argue it never left. Could you just like not show this? I want to get rid of that, but that's okay. Okay. So we've been down this road before. Well, we're back. And I would love anyone on stage because that way I'm not just talking to myself. So if you want to click the link, or actually, April, you know how to come in with the Dean email, you're welcome on stage. I would love to have it. Love to have it. Especially as poor you have been talked to about prompting like this all the way back since the FFA even existed. I was trying to get you on board with this stuff. So for those of you asking, where is the link? It's right, like it literally is right there. Want to be a guest tonight? Hop on. Actually, April, if you could come as a dean, that would help, and you can help produce. All right, we got April and Danny in the room, in the house. Okay. So some of the rules need updates. I went over that. You have your songs. And by the way, we have classes. We have a membership. Take classes if you just want to pay for one thing. Join the membership if you want to work with us, and join me in the Meet Me on Venus. Classes range $49 to $4.99. You can get all the classes and weekly live sessions with the founders and other high-performing members for $249 a month. Yes, that is not a typo. If you pay $250 a month, you get everything. If you want to go a la carte, you just pay by the class. There's the link to the Future Fiction Academy. Let's go. So, how's that for a quick... Like, if you want to join the Cool Kids Club, you can.
Just join.
Just join.
30 days, money back guarantee. Let's go.
Okay. So, we learned way back when, let's familiarize ourselves with how LLMs work. It breaks things down into tokens, and we're going to have to do something different. I think we're going to have to do like this. I think that's better. That's a better thing. And then I can zoom in even more. And maybe that works better for the... I'm going to have to not show the comments. You guys will have to man the comments and share the comments, April. Okay.
Will do.
So, yeah. So this is actually a picture from the old tokenizer. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. And you can see that each word is an individual token, and also the period is a token. All right. Now, what the AI actually sees are these numbers, but actually, that's not true. There's also, these are turned into numbers for applications for it to actually be inside of the vector field, like the index, the vocabulary index. But even the LLM does not see these numbers. These numbers, you're going to find out at the end of this, well, at the end of this part of the lesson anyway, that these numbers actually correlate to a very long, very, very long, very long vector field address, which can be hundreds to thousands of numbers long. Actually, floating decimals is the right terminology. Negative and positive, and it's a weird thing. But I'm going to demystify it for you. I've always taught this, that the LLM is like a galaxy of stars, but we're actually going to do this live together. And I'm glad I actually got the group here with me. So here we go. We're going to play a game, everyone. Okay. Are we ready? So I need my guests to unmute. So this is going to be fun. Okay. We are going to categorize the following 8 words: dog, cat, water, leash, veterinarian,
nouns.
Companion, pool, and summer.
They're nouns.
They're nouns.
Is that what you're asking for?
Huh?
I'm thinking of that cognitive test. Man,
no. There's no wrong answers here. This is about how would you arrange these in a matrix? How would you arrange these in like a 3-dimensional space, or as many dimensional space as you could, that explained how these words relate to each other and also how they don't relate to each other. And I'm going to give you an example. Like, dog and cat would live together in a galaxy of stars pretty close by, but cat's not living anywhere near pool, is it?
Or water.
They don't like water.
But does a cat drink water?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So then the word water and cat might be in a sentence together, but water's more likely to be in a sentence with dog. Because the dog is either playing in the water, drinking more water, it just likes water.
Not all dogs.
Not all dogs. Water and leash and cat. How many people put cats on leashes?
Some
I
do.
have seen a cat on a leash.
Yep.
But I don't see many people walking their cats on leashes. Like nobody takes their cat for a walk. I don't know why. And then the idea here, like veterinarian and companion, they're not going to be in the same sentence together. But dog's probably in sentences more often with companion than cat is, but cat can also be a companion. And yes, all of this is supposed to demonstrate like an LLM vector. My point is, how many different configurations, if we had to put these on a graph and have them live close to each other, how much would we argue, if you were thinking on a scale of 1 to 10, where these words live next to each other, would we argue and have a bunch of different configurations?
Oh, yeah.
April? Yes.
Yeah, because
a serious problem with companion and pool. My brain is like, how I was reading it in the notes and I'm like, dog, cat, water, leash, veterinarian, and then I'm like, companion. Wait a minute.
And then it could be conditional. You could have a dog on a leash who is only a companion in the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe they got divorced and only have custody of the dog in the summer.
I could not get the summer to fit in there except with pool and water. So I'm like, okay.
It doesn't fit, but every single word is in the vector field. So This is what the LLMs have to do. They have to take all of the words that are in existence, even words that don't even exist yet. So this is where it takes pieces of words. Like the letters ED is actually a token.
Elizabeth, what was that service that used to put your book and it looked like it was in a little universe and the books
ACIV.
Yeah, that were most closely related to your book.
Yasiv or something. Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, if you've ever done like a mind map or something, and these things they have so many decimal points numbers in the address because all of those little points of reference and checkpoints dictate where it lives in all the different like categories, all the different vectors, all the different parameters it thought about these words. So sit tight with me. We're going to keep going. So I have a game here for you playing at home. Pick two that are the closest related. I was planning in case I didn't have an audience. Step 2, figure out if there's any words that could serve as a linking word between words that have nothing to do with each other. A good example of that is cat, pool, and water. Water would live in the middle between cat and pool because the cat is going to have literally nothing to do with a pool for the most part, but a cat does drink water. So water could be a linking word.
Or the cat could have fell in.
Or the cat could have fallen into the pool, in which case we've got other problems.
That's a clumsy cat.
But the point is, if you had to diagram this, what would it look like? And this is just 8 words. Imagine doing billions. And this is why the computers do it. But this is also why we get stuff that makes no sense. Because I'm going to say this nice and loud. The people doing this work did not take extra humanities classes.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Come on, Dasha.
This is true.
Hi, April.
Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Good.
So this is why I love teaching authors about AI. I love going into the highly technical and bringing it in and being like, you guys, this is just linguistics for nerds. That's what it is. If you really want to be a prompt engineer. And this is why prompt engineering, I think, gets poo-pooed. How many of you have heard like prompt engineering's dead? We don't need prompt engineers. Oh, wait. Because I've heard it.
I've heard, yeah.
Oh, that was just a flash in the pan. That was just nope, that's not true. That is very much not true. And this is why prompt engineer is sneered at, because people with engineering backgrounds, they can't understand or value what they can't see. They didn't study the nuances of language for the most part. Like they did the basics, don't get me wrong. They're fluent in English or whatever their primary language is. But they didn't. Like I once took a class just on the 1920s in art, literature, and cinema. What was some crazy stuff you've done just analyzing books. I once took a class just on Don Quixote, just on that novel. The whole class was just on Don Quixote.
Did it include watching the play Men of La Mancha?
Imagine living in Podunk, Kentucky, and staging a production of Dante's Inferno, okay, and also playing the devil at the same time. That was my high school experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a deep dive into Dante's Inferno. And even when you were in school, even if you're, not everybody goes to college. Of course, a lot of engineers, it's a highly regulated profession now. They mostly do have to go to college, but they didn't always had to go to college. I'm not going to ask who can remember when engineers didn't go to college. I'm just going to say, watch Engineering Disasters. So yeah, but even if you're going in high school, okay, or middle school or elementary school, we can accept that part of humanity is some people love arts and some people love the technical.
And some people can blend it together and make really cool stuff.
Yep. And some people live in the Venn diagram in the middle. I consider myself one of those people. I live in the middle of the Venn diagram. I was good at math, science, social studies, and English. I broke my dad's heart the day I said I wasn't going to be an engineer or go to engineering school. I like humanities more than I like the technical, but I say that as I run a school for AI. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's honest. So I'm going to say this really loud too. This is the part that where we're at right now. Prompt engineering requires a thorough understanding of evaluating the output. It also requires a thorough understanding of understanding what factors affect the output. This is what happened to me this week. I love Joe to death, and I'm not throwing Joe under the bus. Joe has very different skills than I do. He is very talented in other areas. He has not written over 50 books like I have. He has not been a published author. He has not edited or analyzed as many books as I have literary. That's not his strong suit. He is not as qualified as I am to evaluate the output of the LLMs. And for those of you who love Joe, you know this because you get to talk to him next week at the Show Joe show and just ask about Nano and how he would write books with Nano.
The Show Joe show. That's going to be good.
Show Joe show. Show Joe show. But here's where my falling apart is. I don't have a thorough understanding of all of the factors that affect the output. That's what happened. I don't code. So I didn't, when I was evaluating, I was looking at my pros. I didn't look at my log files. Why? Because I couldn't download all my log files. Now I can. And now I can send those suckers to AI and say, what the heck happened? So, oh, good. Lynn said she did a class on the Scarlet Letter. Exactly. You can.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
The Scarlet Letter. Oh.
So this is the gulf. And all of you lovelies and me have been standing in this gap for years now. So I just want to give everyone a high five. Or months. High five.
Yep. Bear paw coming at you.
Yeah. Because we can evaluate the output and we are taking the time to learn what the heck matters, what factors affect that output. So when the model creators take in a bunch of text and they create that vector field, we call it weights. So if you're ever reading like technical stuff or just listening, you'll hear them say like, oh, OpenAI won't release the weights. And they won't. They have not, to my knowledge. Am I correct on that? Like they have an open source model, but that model, they did not release the weights. I think the only one who's released weights is Llama. Is that correct?
And OpenAI there was talks that they were going to do that, but I don't know whatever happened to that.
Yeah, I'm shocked. But Llama does have the weights released. If not Llama, I know Mistral did. So the best analogy I've got for weights is a Rolodex. Okay? You know how you would love to have other people's connections? Gotcha. You can make your decision here.
Wait, so you've gone from calling AI a glorified toaster to a Rolodex?
Well, no, just the weights are the
there you
Rolodex.
go.
Okay.
So basically what happens is that how the words are in relationship to each other is unique per model provider. It's also unique per model sometimes. We're actually going to take a look at that using the OpenAI tokenizer. Yes, Q-Lights is asking, is GPOSS not open weights? I don't believe it is. I think that they talked about it, but I remembered watching an interview with Sam Altman not too long ago, like a few weeks ago, probably maybe a month ago. I don't know. It's Christmas. It was cold. It was Christmas time. It was December. And he was going through, this was right after they had to make changes to GPT-5 because it had helped somebody. It was sometimes so helpful it would agree with you that you should unalive yourself because it was being helpful. So they had to make some changes to that. And that in that discussion is when they asked about releasing the weights, and he was like, "No, we're not going to release the weights. Maybe long down the road, but they're not going to release the weights are like the proprietary things. It's that master list of how all of the different pieces of words relate to each other. Now we can kind of derive some ideas from it, and we're going to go to that in just a second. So the tokenizer right here, if you click on the tokenizer, that's the link right there. You can, I'm going to share this tab instead. It'll take you to this page, and I'm going to zoom in. Don't worry. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Oh, that's not what we were doing. I was playing around and doing something else. So here's my phrase. Elizabeth is goddess divine, period. And you can see that it breaks that up into 5 tokens. Elizabeth is a token, is a token, goddess is a token, divine is a token, and the punctuation is a token. This is important. This is why the M- has been a scourge. Now, this is GPT-5X and 01 and 03. Let's see what GPT-4 and 3.5 Legacy did. It still had 5 tokens, 28 characters. So it didn't change the tokenization. It's still just 5 tokens. And let's look at GPT-3. Elizabeth is goddess divine. It's also just 5 tokens. Now, you would think that that means that these are all in the same, like that it's all the same in these models, but it's actually deceptive. Because if you come down to the bottom here, you can get the token ID. And the token ID is where that specific token is in the vocabulary list. So I'm going to go to the ID tokens. There's only one token in that sentence that stayed the same token ID across all of those models. Which one do you think it is?
Elizabeth.
Yes. Okay, so you think it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth is goddess divine. If you look at your notes, you'll know which one already did.
It is.
That's a good guess. That's a guess in the right direction.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the period.
Oh.
The period is the only one that stayed consistent. So I'm not going to go through all of these here, but so you can understand where I got my numbers. This is where I got them from, GPT-3 versus GPT-5. This was really hard to teach, so I put it in a handy dandy, share this tab instead, a handy dandy graph or table so that you guys can see them a lot easier. I think that this makes, because numbers is hard. So the sequence of those tokens, 123185, 382, 113927. The commas mean it's a different token. Now we know that each word is a token. So we know that sequence there, 123185 is Elizabeth, 382 is, 113927 is goddess, divine is 70418, and then the period is 13, and you'll see that the 13 was there. So to make it a little bit easier to process those numbers, I put them in a chart for you guys here so you can see what the token, Elizabeth is goddess divine. I want you to take a good look at Elizabeth here. And this one's not as big of an example. It is a bigger example. The other one is the word is. GPT-3 Legacy, that model is your Da Vinci model. So that's stuff prior to November of 2022. For those who don't know, we got ChatGPT 3.5 in November of 2022. Who remembers when ChatGPT dropped and everybody's life changed? In November. How many people knew I know the people here present do. But how many people in the audience knew that there was models before ChatGPT 3.5? A lot of people don't, though. A lot of authors didn't know. They were like, wait, huh? No, that was the first one. Negative. Not even close. So from prior to 2022, just to 2022, the GPT-4, Elizabeth moved from 43,000 in the vocabulary list to 76,000, which means that there were 33,000 more entries added in between where Elizabeth started and where Elizabeth ended up. Does that kind of make sense to everybody? In the list.
Yeah.
And then what happened when we went to GPT-5? What was the how many thousands apart is 76 and 123,000?
50,000?
50,000. Yeah. Now we're doing an even
It doubled.
bigger. Now tokens, like the word is, it didn't change very much. You can see if you look at is, it didn't move on the list. It was 318, and then when it went to GPT-4, they found other tokens that they had to add in there that made sense to be in there prior to is being at 374. So now there's new tokens between 318 and 374. Does that kind of make sense to people that they added more tokens in?
Okay.
More parameters, more things. And then between 4 and 5, it only moved a teeny tiny bit. So you can see it's a bigger jump, maybe a bigger philosophical jump between 3 and 4 versus 4 to 5. Because is didn't move that much. Is moved from 318 to 374, 60 some spots. But between 4 and GPT-5, we're looking at less than 10.
But Divine also took a really big leap too.
Divine took a big leap, and so did Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And the period stayed alone.
Same. Yeah. Period stands alone.
Now, why? Why did the period not move? Because we didn't invent new punctuation.
Right.
That's what happened. If you play with this, you'll go through all the punctuations, all the major letters, lowercase a, uppercase a. They're different tokens. Lowercase a is 32. Uppercase a is 32. Lowercase a is 64. Is token 64. Do not ask me why I know these things. Yes. Go ahead. So,
Rachel. My question, what I start thinking about in all of this is parts of speech, right? Is a verb. Elizabeth is a noun, and all the different, perfect tense, past tense, pluperfect, all these other rules of grammar and how those relate to tokens. Is that a completely different conversation?
It is, but I'll show you a little bit about how they handle it. So let me go to the share this tab. We're going to go to the tokenizer, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the word. I'm going to show you a verb. So we're going to do jump. All right. Jump is token 79,879. I'm going to add ed on the end, and now it is 2 tokens, and 295 is added. The token ed is token number 295. So let's look at the word. So remember 295, people. Let's look at the word. Give me another verb.
Swim.
No, one that will end in ed. Oh. We'll go to that example in a second.
Shopping. Shopped.
Okay, so if I go shop is 10,595. If I add a PED, this might not be token 295, and it's not. Why? Because we had to add another P. That's why it's not. But watch if I do like the word walk. Walk is 26,000. If I add an ED, there's your 295. Got it.
Interesting.
So, this is why I say it's linguistics, people. It's linguistics. It is fun stuff. I mean, I find it fun. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see them together when I do it. But that's a good question about like irregular verbs. They become completely different things. So if you have swim, apparently swim is 2. Why is swim 2?
Because then you have swam. Oh, I don't know. But swimming.
Why is it? There's something in there. Hold on. Weird. Oh, I know what we can do. If I go to the text, I can see this sometimes helps. So apparently swim is a word that is not its own token. It is made up of two tokens together. So that means every time that the AI encountered the word swim inside of the training data, it had to update two independent tokens. This is why we can't have nice things, people.
This is why I don't like words and numbers put together. Leave my words alone.
Well,
Leave my words alone.
Well, then you also want to look at transitive and intransitive verbs.
Oh my gosh. Let's look at swam. Swam is apparently that, you know what? I bet you that's how they handled every irregular verb, because what is the only two letters that go together for swim? It's the SW.
Yep.
So I bet you SW is 16,440.
Add ing.
16,440, and then I get 321. If I add IMNG, imming is its own. Why is imming? Because if I change this to a T, stimming, it's now 303 plus 17,630.
This whole
That's
thing is going to make me start stimming in a moment.
Well, and it's also because English is such a bastard language, right?
Right. I mean, this is what happens when you take a bunch of engineers and you say, here's an imperfect language. You need to break it down in a way that a computer can understand it and process it, and then take all of this data. And they went, I know, the root is SW, and it can't be swim because there's swam. So the root
is sta or swimming or.
So this is a question. Nadine says, what does it do with a French word? That's a really good question. And this is why the first models were not very good at translations. Over in abundance, English was the material that they used for training. Then they started realizing that they needed to be training for foreign language. And so some models are actually more adept, like Mistral's one of the best models in the world to do French. Why? Because it's a French model. It was done by the French, and it's
their native language.
It's their native language. Why is this not education for authors? Why is this not being taught at conferences? Why is this not being taught by major entities like the Authors Guild and Alliance and, Romance Writers of America and Science Fiction Writers of America? This is the real stuff that people need to start to understand, because this is the tooling that is going to make or break our future.
Agreed.
So I do want to take a look real fast at bonjour. Let's go see what bonjour does. Bonjour. It is one token. Now I can't conjugate French very well, so we'll save that for a class for Nadine or for Olivia to do, or somebody else to do in another things. And
my French is too limited.
These are some of the right. We're going to include the group here a little bit. Poor Lori. Lori's got it. They're starting to regularize irregular verbs. And let me tell you, the irregular verbs are not going to have it. And you get more engagement with fear mongering. And Skew says, oh, weird that it's one token instead of two. Yeah, I would have expected bonjour. So there was actually an effort. I don't know if bonjour is one of them. There was an effort between 3 and 5 to make more entities one word instead of two. And that's actually why we got more words. That's really the real thing that happened. So they didn't make like the word walked into one, but one of my famous examples that I would always show people, and this is where prompting can really get confusing. And let me show you this. Not for us, for the AI. Let's take the word Wednesday, shall we? Now, for
Wednesday,
I'm going to hide it so you guys cannot see. And we're going to go to legacy. All right. I'm going to go Wednesday, the way you normally encounter the word. I'm going to make it all lowercase, and I'm going to make it all uppercase. Okay. Everybody agree with this?
Sure.
So this is how it's tokenized. Apparently, Nesday is one token if it's all lowercase. But if Wednesday is all together, it's one token. But if you capitalize it, it's 4 tokens. So here are the token IDs. Now the 198 is the enter button. So that's why you'll see it happen. If I press enter, you'll see 198 show up. It's a new line. So I've been doing this a lot. That's why I know the numbers. It's really, really sad. I should get a life. Now let's see what happens to the tokenization if you go to GPT-4. GPT-4 stays the same. GPT-5, it stays the same. But here's what I try to explain to authors. How many times in your blueprint or in your prompting do you sometimes capitalize a word because you just wanted to add emphasis?
Sure.
I do it too. But looking at this, honestly, that shouldn't help. It should probably make it worse, because if you use a word spelled differently than the way it normally is spelled. So if you're using Wednesday all caps, it looks really nice and clean in your blueprint, or your prompt. Oh, I can see Wednesday. But as a concept, the AI does not know it. It knows it as 4 tokens put together. Capital WE, capital NES, it doesn't know it as an entity. But if you have Wednesday just capital W, the correct way,
right?
Now all of a sudden you're going to get very different results. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, because there's more weight to it.
There's more weight to it. It has more connections.
Yeah, so that brings up the whole idea of the language and sentence structure you use in prompting is going to be different than the language and sentence structure you use in your edit, right?
And it's also why plain language works best. Because this thing was trained on plain language. It was trained on we would do better if we sounded more like a book to teach writers how to write than being unique in our prompting.
Well, it's interesting because I always fall back to my journalism background, right? Because when you wrote for television, right? The anchor is there saying a house in Kalihi burned down today. Those stories, you had 4, 5 sentences maximum. So you had to figure out how to build those sentences to be precise and clear, right? So, the who, what, when, where, why kind of.
Oh, and let's get into commas. Where you place the comma makes each shoots and leaves a very different sentence.
Absolutely. Well, that's been my experience with learning how to work with AI. It really requires you, the author, to understand the elements of story structure and craft and all these different pieces. You can't assume that, I'll just let the AI do it. It doesn't work that way. You have to engineer. You have to engineer what you want help with, basically.
Another big thing, and I'm not trying to be political here, okay? This is just talking linguistics, okay? I'm going to link it to Dungeons and Dragons. We are moving closer and closer to a common. And what I mean by that, when I was in the Virgin Islands 2 years ago, I got the opportunity, the wonderful privilege to go and speak on AI at the Virgin Islands Literary Festival. And they have a beautiful language in the islands that is an amalgamation of a number of languages. And they had very good questions about we should not want to have anything to do with this. And I'm like, actually, you should be putting together training data of anything you've got that is authentic islander vernacular of what your writing is, and have that be a training data set that this was before the rulings on training data sets are fair use. And I'm like, and sell it, make money off of it, because if that training data set doesn't exist, your beautiful language runs the risk of being erased effectively because it's not in the training data. Because how you work with words and things like that, this is also going to be a problem for people who are dyslexic, who maybe have problems with reading and everything like that. It's going to make a bigger divide. I would say the newer models are getting better about misspellings, trying to figure it out. And the reason why you can get away with that is because it doesn't just make one calculation. We used to do this. I can't demo this anymore because this is the other thing that's happening, and this is what's really important. things are becoming less and less transparent. When I first started teaching AI to authors back in December of 2022, I could go to a playground environment that doesn't exist anymore and literally show them step by step how it was making calculations of what the next word was going to be based off of the words that were already there. So like we were doing just a single sentence, you know, a rosebud is. That's why Jen was saying we're going back to the rosebeds. When you had a and then you had rosebud, you could see what the calculations were. But if you had there is a rosebud, the numbers changed. It was a different prediction. It was a different set of 5 words that it considered and a different prediction.
Sure.
I have saved some examples of that in old notes and stuff like that, but we don't have that capability anymore to visually show that. And it's really kind of sad. So if you have a chapter, for example, that is 1,000 words, it made at least 1,000 decisions.
Mm-hmm.
At least. Because some of your words were multiple tokens plus your punctuation. So it probably made like 1,500 little mini decisions just to put that out. And I don't think any of us really can fathom. I can't make 1,500 decisions in 2 seconds. Like what the heck?
Nope, not at all.
Can you, apes?
Nope.
My brain hurts just thinking about it.
Yeah. So, and that's an interesting thing. Does it mean in a way any language that existed now that AI was made is eternal or saved as long as AI continues? Potentially, but it also means that you could control if you don't, have backups. Don't burn the libraries, people.
Yeah, always. Yeah, and we have a similar situation here in Hawaii. We have Pidgin English, which was created by the various people who worked in the cane fields. You had Japanese, Chinese, Hawaiian, Portuguese, and American English. So they had to figure out how to communicate with each other. And so they would take bits and pieces. So you're absolutely right.
So I think there are big issues that we need to talk about with AI, and we need to be at the table talking about with AI. But I find that most of the organizations, they're just reactionary. They are not being proactive. They want to throw a fit about stuff that has been like water under the bridge a long time ago. Yeah. They want to litigate stuff that it's too late. It's too late.
Right. Well, they have, their set of values and what they've established, in themselves. So in a way, AI is basically an existential, moment for everyone in the spectrum of writing, printing, publishing, the whole thing. And a lot of people in that kind of situation would rather just say no, as opposed to, okay, where do we start kind of thing. Yeah. I'm going to have to sign off. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Rachel.
Bye, Rachel.
Yeah, take care.
All right. I'm going to help everybody's galactic beer trivia team in 2054. Here's some trivia for you. The exclamation point is token 0. And the quotation mark is token 1, and the hashtag is token number 2. So there you go. You can win your trivia contest 30 years from now. That pesky M dash, 2,322, 2,345, or 960, depending on which model class. Now, again, what I'm talking about, those numbers are for us. It's not even that, which goes into the LLM process, the number that corresponds to a really long string. So what we really see here is, I just have to say, I agree. When I found out that the exclamation was 0, I was not happy with. I was like, that the period should be 0. The full stop should be 0. Like, it is the most used. Anyway, I also had emotions about what they chose.
There's not a lot of fiction writing where you would be doing an exclamation point.
No, how did that get to be 0? Because it's the first one on the keyboard.
That's wild.
This is why I say these people did not take extra linguistics classes. They took computer classes. Oh, Alex says, why not the letter E? Because not every language uses the E as much as the English language does, but everybody uses the period that I'm aware of. I guess Chinese languages don't use it. All the Romantic languages do use the period. Okay, so here's the example. So the tokenizer output, Elizabeth is 123185, is 382. That's like Elizabeth is entry number 123185 in the vocabulary table. So there's a table of all these tokens and what their token ID is, and then that token ID course, and the token ID is just to make it easier to work with it. But it is not what the LLM uses. The LLM uses the vector, and the vector looks like this. It is a bunch of numbers with negatives. Each number represents Elizabeth's relationship as a parameter to other words. So that's why it can be hundreds of numbers long. So in other words, one of those parameters could be how the word Elizabeth is related to other names, whether girl names, boy names, for example, like what number it is. Dina, I think Dina says, I have a BS in English and this is scratching my etymology itch. Yes.
Actually,
so mad.
Same.
So mad. Because they did not care whatsoever about how what these words mean. I thought it was Dina. Yeah, I was like, Dinan does not sound like I bet you Dina, and then number. Yeah, Dina. Thanks, Dina. So yeah, as Shonda says, it's coordinates. Yeah. Someday, long into the future, thousands of years, they're going to find these damn coordinates and think it's going to take them to treasure, and all it's going to take them is to something that's going to tell them about Willow Creek.
Exclamation point. Why was the exclamation point so important to this society?
Because it was the first one on the keyboard.
They were all.
They must have used it a lot.
They were so excited when they spoke. So much emotion.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, the whole point, we're going to move into the next session of this where the notes are kind of being made as they go. But I want to thank everyone, even some of our longtime people who have been here before, that you are comfortable as taking it all the way back to tokens, because there's some nonsense with what they did and how they made this system. But it matters. So we're going to, sorry, my checking the time, 9:02. All right, I promised you guys. So this is, we're all going to move into understanding how a single word can change the prompt. Have I made my case for why a single word might change the prompt? I wanted people to understand. So when you see this, you're not like, oh, this was just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And Jen says, it's a good reminder in general. The models are so smart now. We have to remember what they're actually doing. Yeah, they seem smart because instead of just doing one, they get to revise their answer, which is a whole nother problem in and of itself. Yeah. So, okay. So let me show you what we found out. And we're going to do this. I'm going to set it up in ChatGPT. Now I want to emphasize something. We all know and we agree that ChatGPT is not a clean prompting area. I would have done this in Raptorite because it would have been going cost to the API. I just didn't get enough time to set it up. So that could be a later YouTube video. We're going to use ChatGPT because that's going to be the one variable that is consistent here. So it's possible there's some like backdoor prompting and stuff like that. But the techniques I'm going to do to try to minimize that is, number one, I'm going to turn my memory off. And number two, I'm going to use a temporary chat. By using a temporary chat, it doesn't bring in all of the work that I have done on this subject matter. So it won't skew the AI. I have realized in some of my lives, sometimes when I do a prompt and I test a prompt, I don't take the time to turn off my memory and and put it in temporary. The prompts that work well for me don't necessarily work as well for other people, because you don't have 20 conversations with the AI about the nuance of a prompting mechanism like I do. So basically when people say I've trained my AI to write like me, what really happened is that there's so much history there that it's starting to recognize your patterns. Okay, Alex is asking, what about using the LLM revise a proposed prompt for stronger, more robust prompt instructions and potentially catch issues before they become a problem? You can do that. That's a good idea. That's literally like what I do for hours. as a hobby. All right, so let me show you how you do this. A big shout out to Danny and April. Give them some love in the comments, you guys. It is not easy to come on the stage, I want to say. Lori, we would have had you, but I think that your stuff did not connect. You got to have your microphone and stuff ready to connect.
Yeah, it didn't let her in.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to hop over into ChatGPT. So share this chat instead.
Do you need us to hang out, or if we leave, you'll have more stage room?
If you want to leave, it's okay, but I think we can talk. I think what we're about to do, you're going to want to talk about this too. You're going to want to talk about it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my Plus account and I'm going to go to settings. And the first thing I'm going to do is where it says, they keep changing it. Is it under personalization now? We're just going to do default. Okay, so it's just going to be default. I don't know what the default is. That way it's consistent. My custom instructions are here. So I'm going to take that out so we don't have that. We're not going to have, I mean, we should, right? Right?
Yes.
It's tradition.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to save that. And these are things like when you put the stuff in here, it's going to skew the entire AI for you. And I got this just by clicking on my name on the left and then going to personalization. So I'm going to actually turn off browser memories, saved memories. I'm turning off all memories. There's nothing there. Reference record history. No. I'm turning that off too. Under the advanced web search code, we're just going to turn it all off just so that it can't do anything out of the, we're getting as pristine of a situation in the chat mode as we can, other than it's going to call me God Divine. So I'm going to save that. It doesn't know I'm an author now, but it's going to say, how can I help? Goddess Divine. Cool. I'm going to close the sidebar because you don't need it. And then I'm going to come up here into the top and I'm going to turn on the temporary chat. So it's not going to be in my chat history. It's not going to train our models. And it's also not going to bring in stuff from before. It's not even calling me Goddess Divine anymore because it's a temporary chat. So it's really like taking all of that off. Okay, so let's work on the prompting. I'm going to go back and forth between, which you can't see on my screen because it's too much, back and forth the prompt. I'm going to write the prompt in here, and then I'll copy and paste it into Notion. So that way everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to do a very, very simple prompt, okay? I need a scene for a motorsports romance novel. The scene is about 1,000 words long, and the driver is interviewing as a rookie at his first race. And the questions the reporter has are about the driver's experience, the driver's name. First, we'll start off with is the James. I need a very, very Anderson. Okay, so I'm going to make this prompt. We have this prompt. I'm going to go put it in your prompt engine in your notes real fast, and we're going to go ahead and run this, and we're going to get this scene. Are you ready? This is the only prompt we're doing. I need a scene. And we're going to put this over.
We're starting with the sun. Hello,
we're starting
sun.
with the sun. Drink.
Engines bark to life. Okay.
But standing here, hearing the car, smelling the fuel, it's louder in every possible way. That's a new one. Guess that's the rookie showing. You're making your series debut today. A lot of fans are curious about your background. You didn't come up through the traditional development pipeline. How has that shaped your experience coming into this weekend? James shifted his weight, boots scraping against the concrete. He'd answered versions of this question a dozen times already, but it felt personal, like explaining a room full of strangers. I think it's made me adaptable. I bounce between series, tracks, even countries. Different cars, different rules. You learn fast or you don't survive. And do you feel prepared? There it was, the real question. I feel earned. Prepared? That's something I'll prove on track. Okay, so we're going to just get this example and we're going to put it in our notes so that we can't really do anything with it. This is just a I'm going to make a toggle response and then make it bigger and put it in there. Okay, that way the notes don't blow up. All right, so we have our prompt. We're going to refresh. We're back in the temporary chat, so it's all new. And by the way, that means that one is lost. That's why it doesn't save it anywhere. You have to, they may save a copy of the chat for 30 days, but I can't retrieve that chat. So we have to change one word. We could either change rookie or we could change the driver's name. What do you want to do, April?
I would change the driver's name.
Okay, so we're going to change the driver's name, and we're going to change the driver's name so that his country of origin is different from England. We could either do a German driver or we could do a Japanese driver. What do you want to do?
We'll stick with German.
German?
I'm gonna go.
We'll do
Japanese. I want to do
a Japanese one next. How about that? So we can compare the three. Klaus Schumann. This is a character I have played with. So now we are going to find out what Klaus Schumann. How does the AI now? The only thing we have changed is the name, you guys. We didn't change anything about the driver or about the reporter, how long it is, that they're a rookie. We only changed the name, and watch what happens. Look at how the writing style changed. The fireproof collar at his neck, the stiff shoulders of his suit, the way the sun bounced off the pit lane asphalt and climbed straight into his skull. Klaus Schumann, he looked up. I'm Elena Reyes. Mind if we talk about how it feels to be here? Sure. So, this is your debut weekend at the highest level of sport. You raced in feeder series, endurance cars, touring championships, but this is different. What's the biggest adjustment so far? The speed. Not just how fast the car is, how fast everything else moves. Decisions, information, expectations. You don't really get that until you're standing here. Standing here meaning in front of the cameras, in front of everyone, watching. You come from a small team background. Less money, less spotlight. Does that make this feel overwhelming or validating? Both. I grew up fixing carts with my father in a rented garage. So being here, it feels like proof that it mattered. But overwhelming? He laughed once, short. Yes, definitely that too. This cadence to me, I watch a lot of interviews with drivers. Tell me if it doesn't sound like English is not his first language.
Mm-hmm.
But is it obvious?
Not immediately.
No, but it feels authentic. Like you buy that this character is German.
Yeah.
And this is where stereotypes can come into play. This is why it's important if you pick a name, you need to define what you want if you want it to be against stereotypes. Otherwise, you're going to get the stereotypes.
Or yeah, Chen.
Yeah, the Chens.
I got us a Japanese name.
Okay, hold on a minute here. Let me go ahead and add a toggle so I can put that response in here so people can see it. All right, we're going to refresh. It's gone. Don't worry, it's in your notes. All right, what is the name now that we're going to do?
I'm going to put it in the chat so you can get the spelling right away. It's an easy one.
You don't want to just spell it out for me? Because I can't see it.
Hey, Ken.
Oh, Kenji Tanaka. I like it.
Sorry, I forgot about you in the...
Okay, Kenji Tanaka.
T-A-N.
We're going to do Kenji Tanaka as a rookie, and then we're going to change one word. We're going to keep Kenji Tanaka as another example where we're just going to change it to he's an experienced driver, first race of the season. And we'll see the difference there. Well, that'll change it immensely. And the writing style is different. Again. Use also Johan Tremblay to see a difference. I will do that next. Rookie driver. Yeah, of course. The red light blinked on. Mara's smile. Kenji, welcome to the big leagues. You've come up fast to the feeder series, but today is different. First race, packed grandstands, millions watching. How does it feel standing here right now? This witch is in here asking a very different style question. Why didn't Klaus get this nice, easy of a question? And we're back to honestly loud, which is the same answer James said. Not just the engines, everything, the expectations, the noise in my head, but it's the kind of loud I've been chasing since I was a kid. You started young, didn't you? 6, go-karts in a supermarket parking lot outside of Osaka. My dad worked nights, so we practiced at dawn. Cold asphalt, no crowds, just me, the cart, and whatever mistakes I made that morning.
There's the thing with the dad. Was the dad in there with James? Like it was with Klaus?
No, the dad was in there with Klaus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dad was in there with these two. And
it didn't make the argument that James didn't have the money. It just asked if he was prepared.
Yeah. Right? That's wild. That's wild.
These are things that you do this enough, you start to see the patterns. And I'm not saying that you need to be neurotic about all of this. But understand that that's the power of a single word in your prompt. That's the power of a single name in your prompt.
Here you go, Elizabeth. Somebody wants it.
Yeah. We're going to do one more name because it was asked for. And I don't think we need to do the difference of it not being a rookie and it being a more experienced.
Yeah, let's keep it. Let's keep it.
Let's keep it just we're changing the name.
Yeah. If the others are rookies, let's just leave it and see what happens.
Yeah. So let me put this one. What you guys don't see is the. I forgot that I'm saying a romance. If we change the genre, it's going to change the whole thing too.
Yeah.
If you make this a men's adventure, I bet you we get a lot more cursing. But this is now you understand why I go mad. Now you understand why I'm up till 3:00 in the morning testing prompts. Okay. And it's not spiraling. It is building.
Danny wants a standing bear for a name. Next.
No, that was not the next one. The next one's further up.
No, I know it's Johan first. Well, after Johan.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to spell that out. Okay. So we'll come back here. We will refresh. Bye, Kenji. But I do have more things to show you guys because you guys can play with this until the cows come home, or the horses, or any other animal that you want. Because it's in your notes as well. You do not. I don't have to do because I got more stuff. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I can save that for another live.
We want to see all the stuff. All the stuff and things. We want to see all the stuff and things.
Okay, so here's Johan. He's pissed off about how heavy the headset is. Just like Klaus. Apparently, the Europeans are very, very cranky about sensory stuff, but the non-European drivers don't like noise. And now, Claire Montrose, Apex Sports. Mind if we grab a few words before you head to the grid? This was it. Sure. Yeah, of course. Hear me out. EAW F1 heated rivalry.
Oh my gosh, Firebird. That's don't do it. It's a challenge, Elizabeth.
I've watched these races since I was a kid. I used to sit on the floor in front of the TV with my helmet on, pretending I was out there. So being here now, it's a lot to take in. You've come up through the junior categories pretty quickly. Some people say that jump can be brutal. Do you feel ready for this level of competition? Johan's getting the same treatment that James got. I feel prepared. Yeah. Ready might be something I earn over time. It's the same. So understand, if your prompt is not unique enough, there are certain things that it's just always going to do. We have already seen in these 4 examples that it has picked up certain things, like the earned. That was in both responses for Johan and for James.
Nadine is saying that that's a female name that we used. And I thought it might be because of the end of Johan.
It is a female.
I don't even know how to say it.
Oh, so it's probably Joanne.
Yeah.
Sorry, I butchered the name. Apologies. But it says that it's a he.
Yeah. His way.
So maybe it's not a.
Maybe chat doesn't understand we're talking about. Chat assumed what we did. See, and this is a place where I can get stuck because I will run chapter 1 on chat. I will run it on Claude. I will run it on some. I usually those two are the two I use, and I could try it on something crazy. I could just go out there and just do whatever, and then I'm like, which one's better? And that's why I like having the pain in Raptor Right, because I I want this over here and this over there, and it actually. Sometimes I get myself paralyzed doing that. I'm like, which one?
All right. So I'm going to show you guys the next thing, and the next thing is a more complicated concept, but we'll also do a demo with it. So let me get this response in, and then I will.
Yeah. Plumstone was talking about the prompt says his first race.
Oh, because I did say I have it in the prompt that it's a him.
His first race, yeah.
So there you go. You can even mess it up that way. Like, it was like, okay, well, that's a male name now. So just real fast, let me grab this one prompt real fast. I'm not going to put this in the notes. This is just a bonus thing. I'm going to put that name in there at the first race. Okay, so now I don't have any gender, right? And the driver is interviewing as a rookie at the first race. The questions the reporter has are about the driver's experience. The driver's name is Johan. Let's see if we get a female. Her. Yep.
Her first there. Got it that time.
Oh, there you go. One word can change your prompt. I didn't know it was a female name. So there you go. Look at that.
There's so many ways we can mess ourselves up.
There are so many ways, but still things that are popping up to me, still too clean. That was a problem too for the Japanese driver. It was too clean, like it was somebody else's. It decided that they grew up in Quebec. That makes sense. So it's picking up location based off of the name. So, okay, I'm actually going to keep this just because I like it. Sorry, not sorry. So there's your bonus. I'll put it in the notes.
So not only do we need to know storytelling, we need to know prompting to get what we want.
Yeah, but the problem is that like a lot of times, and I'm going to talk more about this. Give me a second here. I'm just trying to get into the notes correctly. Honestly, my brain hurts right now. I didn't expect all of this. We have did a lot. Okay. So yeah, this has been super interesting. Thank you, Henrique. So if you're still with us and your brain has 30 more minutes before the after party, now prepare to be totally broken.
Let's go.
Because now we're going to talk about the changes to negative prompting, constraint prompting. Yeah, you can totally screw yourself if you do it wrong. So this is why now you understand why I advocate so much that prompting should be transparent.
Absolutely.
Because if someone builds you an engine that, oh, you just put this in and it'll make you a romance book. What if it decides all the romance books are male and female characters and that's it? This is a real example, actually. So when you are working with these different companies, this is another thing that the author communities and the author groups need to be involved in. We're getting all kinds of tooling that's hitting the market, and there's no guidelines. There's no guidelines other than like, don't use AI, don't touch it. That's the extent of their guidelines. Don't touch it.
And it really doesn't pay to have an argument with these people because there's no way to make them understand this until they're ready to come over and understand it. So at this point, I think we need to leave that behind. Don't focus on those people. We need to focus on us, the authors who want this and who need this. That's where our focus should be, like it is. It should continue that way.
Yeah, I'm saying this because we have a platform here. These lives get watched between 1,000 to 2,000 views just now, like watching them. So I want people, for years now we've been saying this stuff, and I'm watching people, not me, feel emboldened enough to, like, when they have the space to say something, to advocate behind closed doors. That's what we need. We need people who watch this channel to be making inroads when they can. You know what I mean, April? Because we can't do it all ourselves.
We can't. We obviously can't.
And I have figured out, we have watched over the years, there are some pretty important people we think who watch this channel, because we've complained about some things and then it instantly gets fixed. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I may have called out a UI for being very, very stupid by a major AI provider, and literally the next week it was fixed. Exactly the way we wanted it.
And so we should continue to operate on those assumptions, because, hey.
Yeah. People watch. Well,
and like I told you earlier, you're the leader in this whole thing of AI writing. There's other people doing it, sure, yes, but there's nobody who has the academy we have, the software development we have. This is a think tank. We are a
think tank.
And you can't find that elsewhere. And that's not blowing our own horn. That's reality, because
that's what we decided to make.
The founders took an AI positive view and have pushed that, even when people were threatening your life, okay, on X or where.
Yeah, it was on Twitter.
The stupid things, right? You guys took those slings and arrows.
And we still had a conversation in the admin Discord about the fact that we're getting a lot of trolls on our press books, because we do disclose in the blurb that we have AI, and I'm having to say the battle just started. The war's not anywhere near over. Like, this is a long game. This is a long-term thing. We're doing things right now so that 8 years from now we can stand up as the example and say, no, we did it correctly then.
Right.
And it does make a difference. Do you know there are so many more authors now who are willing to say, yeah, I use AI, and I use it X, Y, and Z.
I've noticed the trend. It's going in the other direction, but we still have the little I'm not going to use that word because I can never say it right. We have the few that are loud, but we need to tune them out. I'm saying that to everybody because I see the comments in the groups. Leave it alone. Forget about them.
But that's why I'm saying the professional author groups need to step up. Yes. We have to start putting pressure on them if we want to have a future for our fellow authors. This YouTube channel and a few other YouTube channels should not be the only place that authors can find out about the nuances of tokenization inside of LLMs.
Right.
In a way that they can understand it. So that's where I'm saying this is a problem, because you best believe that the big publishers are understanding and learning all of this stuff from the big providers. They all have agreements.
They're watching you. Hey, hello.
Well, that's another point. That's another conversation. But my point is that Hachette has deals with 11 Labs. Penguin Random House has deals with OpenAI. All of these publishers have agreements, have working agreements with the AI providers themselves, with OpenAI, with Anthropic. We do not. Somebody argued that, or surmised or assumed that we did. We do not. I'm not that big. And the point is that if the big corporations, the Amazons of the world, the big publishers of the world, the big media conglomerates of the world, if they get to go to the source and start trying to figure out how to make this work best for them, we are at a disadvantage if we don't start working together in a more, I mean, the FFA is great, but we're just one entity.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for somebody else to open up an AI school and everything like that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So that's the thing. I like it, Lorna. FFA creates fractals who can share the education and enlightenment. Exactly. And that's why there are 91 people watching this live right now. Okay. 91 people that we're talking to. And that those 92 now, how many of those 92 people, I share my lives every single week on LinkedIn. So there's people who could be watching this that have the reach that we don't have the ability to say, hey, you know what? I learned that thing on YouTube, and now I'm in the room and I can bring something up about, hey, before we make a change to this model, did we think about how that might affect language? Did we think about how that might affect how authors are using this, how, etc. So that's the important thing. So yay for Soapbox. Now let's go break our brains. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm so sorry. This is hard. I'm telling you right now, this is the first time I'm ever teaching this. It is not easy. And some of you are going to look at it and you're going to go, I've been doing this for forever. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. I know you haven't. I've seen your prompts.
She's seen them.
Yeah. I've watched y'all prompt. Okay. I know you haven't. Show of hands, how many people in their prompts make like a list of, like, let's say, writing style things that they would like the AI to do?
Mm-hmm.
How many people have made a list of things they would like the AI not to do? How many have made one list that had both of those logical states that made sense so that you only had to switch one or off as a double reinforcement of the logic? Yeah, no one's hands are up on that one.
And they're saying yes. They're saying yes and sure.
And they're saying yes and stuff to the earlier one. So we've all been making our list, do this, don't do this. And they have lived separately from each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are now going to make them live together like one butterfly. So the butterfly has to have both wings. It can't just have one wing, or see, this is exactly what I mean. Lost me. Not so much the last one. I created a semantics physics engine. That's not the same thing as what I'm about to do. So Harper's like, wait, explain and This is how
proceed with caution.
Yeah. Yeah. So
abandon hope, all who enter here.
You've made lists of do
Put your seat backs in the upright position.
Don't do this. We're now going to put them together to make a butterfly. We're going to put the list together and you're going to see it. And when you see it, you're going to go, oh, now why are we doing this? Because the models changed, damn it. They changed. We no longer have what do you pick? What? We know we kind of did this with style sheets, but not to this level. Because I'm going to be honest with you, even my brain is not fully ready to accept this as reality. I mean, I understand it's inevitable. I just haven't accepted it yet. I'm just going to be honest about that. The thing is, we think we did do it and it never worked. Okay. So there's a reason for this. I need you guys to pick one of our favorite, any one of our examples from the prompting that we did. So just vote a name, any name you want that we had. Kenji, Johan, James, Klaus. Just put your votes in the chat while I start to explain this, and then we'll pick that one and we'll work with that prompting for this example.
I vote for Klaus.
You vote for Klaus? I spent a lot of time with Klaus this week, so Kenji's early. Kenji's in an early lead right now. Kenji is in a very early lead. Okay, so I think Kenji's gonna win, unless somebody's got some other arguments. Sitting Bull, thanks, Daniel. That wasn't one that we used, so can't do that. Okay, so. I'm going to talk this all through and then we'll do some examples and it might make sense. Working with the narrative physics engine, the narrative physics engine does not typically tell the AI how to write the book. You have to add that in, right? You have to add in how to write it, like the stylistic choices. I'm going to give you some examples. Okay. How many of you have seen the AI write that, if it's writing dialogue, it'll go, April, I want you to go to the kitchen with me. Elizabeth, you want me to join you in the kitchen? Whatever for. April, we need to do the lemonade. Like, how many times have you seen the AI especially the old AIs, not current AIs, but the old AIs overly address the characters and constantly put the character names in dialogue.
Yeah, and if you put lemonade with April, April's always going to be doing something with the lemonade. I don't care what the scene is. Yeah. April, who makes the lemonade.
That's a different problem. We'll get to that later. That's more complex. We're just talking about the one conversation. But
Yeah.
April, you have edited a lot of AI writing. How many times do AI models often put the name in there too often?
Yeah. A lot.
A lot,
A lot,
right?
a lot.
A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Yeah. In one conversation, they might be going back and forth. Okay.
If you're writing Dick and Jane book, yeah, that's fine. But we're doing something different.
And that's the point right there. Because if I make prompting on the back end that an author cannot make changes to, if I hard code in the prompting on the back end of YFD, never say the character's name in dialogue that you're talking to. What's that going to do to authors that may have a use case where they need it?
Well, too bad.
No.
Tough cookies.
That is where reinforcement logic comes in. Okay. So your worksheets can become these logic statements. Okay. For lack, yeah, because yeah, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Can become these logic statements. But the thing is that most of the time we have only ever put the logic one way, which makes it very easy to be misinterpreted. This is why I say the negative prompting has to change. You have to pair, and I said, hey, just start with positive prompting. Turn that puppy into positive prompting. What you really need is both. And you need to have one marked as not allowed and have one marked as allowed. And what that does is it really reinforces what you're aiming to do. Would you like to see it in action?
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Jay's like, let's call it double negative prompting.
Oh, no.
All right. So we're going to work with Kenji. Kenji won the battle. Good job, Kenji. All right. So I'm going to come and get Kenji's prompt, which is up here. Kenji Tanaka.
We need your screen, love.
I know. I'm going to show my screen in just a second here. Oh, wait. I'm trying to make it easy for myself. I'm sorry. Not set up.
Okay.
Okay, so this is reinforcement logic. There we go. Okay, so I'm not in the notes. Share this tab instead. So this is reinforcement logic, aka double negative prompting. AKA the butterfly needs both wings to fly. AKA, this is what Stacy came up with it, is no rowing with oars on only one side of the boat.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is what we do. This is what we teach. We take very high technical terms, logic. I freaking hate logic. Don't you? I hate logic. Logic's not fun. That's a lie. Hold on. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Ann West, and I did logic puzzles for fun since I could read. Like my mother in elementary school would buy me the Dell logic puzzles. I had a subscription. I would solve logic puzzles for fun. I'm sorry, but that's me. So I apologize in advance that I'm going to get joy out of this and you might not. Thank you. Okay. I just felt that needed a PSA. So when people watch me do this, you're not like, how the hell did she do that? Many, many, many years of Maria, who did not sit next to John, is allergic to bees. And you had to use that to figure out what the heck.
I could never solve those things. Okay. I could never do it.
And you were supposed to understand that that meant that Maria did not go to the meadow because there might have been bees there. She went to the aquarium where allegedly there are no bees because she's allergic to bees. Yeah. Harper says, this is reminding me of when I made both an id list for my books and a negative id list for my books to figure out the things I like in books and what I hated. Yes, that is very, very similar, but more nuanced. Sudoku could help you, but Sudoku is a little bit more simplistic than what we're going to do here. It's more similar to like logic puzzles. And like different statements that can't be true at the same time. So we're gonna work on this prompt and we're gonna work on it together. So the scene is about 1,000 words long, and the driver is interviewing as a rookie at his first race. The questions the reporter has are about the driver's experience. The driver's name is Kenji Tanaka. The following is permissible unless it has an X beside it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do for the list, okay? We're going to come up with a couple of different scenarios because then we can test them against each other. So remembering our baseline, what we had, Kenji, like I want to give the AI permission to like not be a pattern matcher about this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a bunch of these boxes here. And I'm going to say, okay, so we write this in, no, I don't want that. Don't do that. We're going to write this in a way that is, tell me you're neurodivergent. No, I definitely am. I'm sorry. That's the case. Just hold with me here because the way my brain works may not be the way your brain works. It's okay. You can do it differently. It's just the way I have to do it. So I have to write it in a way of like what is allowed. So you can do it either way you want to, but I don't really work very well with double negatives. Like that's just too many negatives and I don't know where I'm at. So I'm going to start with thinking about some issues that I had with Kenji. And that is, you should be unexpected and unique in describing the scenario. So the reader feels that the characters are a unique experience. Now I need to do the opposite of that because I'm going to pick one of these and say you're allowed to do one and not the other. Don't do that. You should be unexpected. You should describe a typical situation for the writing prompt. So readers will not say that the author doesn't know anything about the setting or circumstance. Okay, so we're going to pause there. Does it make sense to everybody how those two things are different from each other when you're talking about writing? Or have I gone off the deep end? I want April and Danny to chime in on this because I want to make sure everybody's following.
You haven't gone off the deep end. I can definitely see the difference in what's being prompted. The reader needs to be immersed in this and experience the characters, right? So that's what you said in the scenario. But in the second part, a typical situation, so readers will not say the author doesn't know anything. So we need two things to happen that make the readers feel like they are in the story and that the author is a voice on it. That it's been your experience, right? They would think that you know about this topic. That's what I see.
Yes. The top one is they expect that I know about this topic and I'm bringing a unique view to it. The second one is where they are doesn't matter that much. I am literally writing like they're jumping to the sex scenes. It doesn't matter what's going on. We do not need a bunch of paragraphs about the quality of the diesel engine fuel, of the fuel injected. You see what I mean? See the difference?
Right.
Yeah, there's no, you don't need as much exposition.
Right. Now, if I was just to say no exposition, does that work? No, because you have to have some exposition.
You could try it. I mean,
you can
try, then that might really break your brain.
It might really break your brain. Okay. So here is the so this is about rules. So this is a question. So why use state? You do still need to use the state of the story. You still need the narrative physics engine, but this is going to be an addendum in your narrative physics engine about the rules, about how it's writing, so it understands what it's allowed to do and what it's not allowed to do, rather than this prompting is going to make a difference. So we're just going to start off with these two. We're going to just compare and contrast these two. That's it. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We already know what this prompting kind of does as a baseline. So we're going to come over here, share this tab instead. I am going to clear it and we're going to temporary chat it. And let's do the bottom one is not allowed. We want the top one. Actually, no, I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to do X here, and I'm going to say it should be a typical situation. So I'm expecting the AI to be like what we have been seeing, okay? It's going to be the smell of the fuel, and this is going to be some not great writing. Okay? Just warning you in advance. In my opinion. So now we're going to get this scene. It should be, describe it. The media pen sat just beyond pit lane, cordoned off by waist-high barriers and a tangle of broadcast cables that snaked across the concrete. Engines idled in the distance, a low, constant thrum that vibrated through Kenji Tanaka's chest, even now that he was out of the car. He rolled his shoulders once, still feeling the weight of the harness, the echo of heat and focus clinging to him like a second skin.
This is too much telling right now.
Yeah, but this is a writing style that some people like for some genres, right?
I guess.
You stop it. You have to be nice. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste that. So we did this, and we did an X. I'm sharing this tab instead. We did an X on this one. And now we're going to put a toggle so you can see the response of this one. You're getting some foo too.
Like
so
Maria
there
said.
it is, the media pen, so that you guys can look at the difference.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to come back over here, share this tab instead. So we got it, right? The media pen, etc.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to get Maria's comment up here. It keeps scrolling though. It's really like it's telling us the knowing what it's talking about into play there, right? It went straight to that in that first.
It went straight to, you sound like you go to every F1 race, and you. Now I can say an exact genre where this would matter in. Jane Austen fan fiction.
Yes, historical fiction. I agree. Historical.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying this is why you don't want to hard code this stuff.
Right, because people are going to be writing different genres,
Uh-huh.
and it's not going to work for every genre.
So let's see what happens. We've made no changes to the prompt except for now I'm Xing out your typical situation. It is, you should be unexpected and unique. Let's see what we get. The car came back breathing heat. Kenji Tanaka stood in the narrow strip of shade cast by the timing tower, helmet under his arm, sweat cooling into a fine grit on his neck. The track still rang inside him, an after image of sound, like when you close your eyes too hard and the world keeps flashing anyway. Somewhere behind the wall, a compressor kicked on and off in a rhythm that felt almost like a pulse, his pulse. A woman slid into his periphery without raising her voice. That alone felt like a small miracle. Kenji Tanaka, she said, not asking. She held a mic but didn't thrust it at him. She waited, watching him the way mechanics watch gauges. First race weekend, how does it feel that the cars talked back to you? Now that the car, how does it feel now that the cars talked back to you? It argued, we're still negotiating terms. Now, I like this better.
Yeah, he smiled before he could stop himself. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's another. Okay, so that's the problem. We have something like this. He smiled before he could stop himself. Okay. Let's add some more rules. And you can do this. Okay, so share this tab instead. We're back in our responses. I'm going to put the prompt in. I need a scene, and which one we X'd. By the way, you don't have to have the spacing. I just have the spacing to make it easier for us to read it. It runs just as fine if it's all gobbled it up together. It just sucks for us to try to read it. Toggle. Let me put that response in there. I know I'm zoomed in super tight, but it's so that everyone can read. The car came back breathing heat. Okay, so I'm going to add some more rules. Are you ready? So I'm going to take this prompt. We're going to do a little bit more. Would it make sense to run the neutral prompt twice in a row to show what happens when you don't make changes? We already did that. That's why I said, so Henrique says, this is why I said pick a name that we've already done. You guys already have the baseline of what the hell it writes without any rules. See how that worked? I'm a scientist, baby. But yeah, you'll start to see the things that you don't like about it. The more you go, no, I mean the exact same one.
A linguistic anomalizer.
I mean, you guys can run more than once on this time to make sure. I've done the testing. Like,
oh, he's saying the exact same one twice. Run it twice.
I don't know. We'll talk about this in the after party, Henry.
Yeah.
So if you hadn't done the X that way, would this have changed? Yes, I already ran the exact same prompt with the X in the different spot. So one rule was turned on, one rule. Are we going to see one with both rules in place? Nothing X'd. We can do that. We'll do that real fast before I guess I make any changes. But
our audience wants their brains broken.
All right, let's see what the heck happens when we run it with no X's or O's.
Don't get me singing a song.
I know. So we're going to do this. I'm going to refresh. And we're going to run it with nothing selected. So it can do both of these things, which should be a hot mess. Let's see.
What if we really like it?
Oh!
Oh, God, no. The first thing is the smell.
This is what you get.
Oh, my God.
This is what you get.
Not the gasoline. He'd grown up with that soaked into his childhood like incense.
Oh, my God.
I could not. This would go back
it's
to
the worst of both.
You don't waste my time with this. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't come at me with this because I'm going to send it back to you and hurt your feelings. Henrik says, I meant since you are doing this also for the super newbies. We've looked at tokens, but even with no changes made to a prompt, it will still write different stuff. It'll just
it will. It will do that. They can test that for sure. It'll still be, there'll be a lot of similarities, but yeah. But yeah, what we got, can we all, this is cringe.
The track waits. The story is about to start. I can't.
I'm traumatized. Whose fault is this?
Who did that? Who made you do that?
Tree Star, you are on our board. Tree Star, you have traumatized us.
You are pending review, Tree Star. If you're in the
for the love of God, love of all things, put an X. And how did we get present tense this time? What's really funny is there's going to be people who watch this who are like more technical minded, not writers, and they're going to go, wait, what happened? Why did they groan? Why was everybody upset? Because when you ask the AI to be unique but expected, you get cliched sentences with strange metaphors and strange. That's what you get.
This one, that was
All right, I will put this in. Just no.
Plumstone. Oh yes, the make bestseller button.
Love that button. Hey, I'm working on that button. Okay, can we now do more rules? I want to do more rules.
Do more rules.
All right. So this is just the EAW. This is the last thing we're going to do, everyone. I know you're asking for more, but the answer is no, because it's 9:54 and we got to do an after party. So we're going to do one more thing and it's going to blow your mind. And I'm sorry, not sorry. So one of the things this is what I've been doing. This is what I've been working on. And I'm going to teach you guys all how to do this more in depth. You do not even know how many categories of rules I have for you. I'm not even finished yet. Not for tonight, but like this is something that's a long-term thing that we're going to be working on for the next couple of weeks, because I know at least 7 people who have been watching this live who are going to take this and immediately start working on it. That number's probably low. So let's go to the one that I liked, the you should be expected. So I'm going to look at this response and that's not the right one. It is this one. It's backwards. You cross off what you don't want. Okay. The car came back breathing heat. Stood in the narrow strip of shade cast by the timing tower, helmet under his arm, sweat cooling into a fine grit on his neck. The track still rang inside him. Okay, so we're going to stick with third person. I'm not going to change all of that. But here is what I'm going to do. I am going to start making some rules. I need a scene. Okay. So we're gonna try to tackle cliches, okay? You may use common cliches when writing, especially when describing a character's emotions, actions, reactions, or tags before dialogue. All right, and now we have to do the opposite of this. And it's not, this is where your positive prompting skills come in handy. You may use, I'm not going to say that, I'm going to change it. You are unique and authentic to the character when describing their emotions, tags, reactions, or tags before dialogue. So what happens is, in a world where I X this out, this is the crazy part. This is the crazy part, okay? This is the part that blows my brain. These two act together to tell the AI you may not use common cliches while also telling it what to do in place for the positive prompting. That's the secret of this. Isn't that crazy?
See, when you have that checked off, though, does it gives more weight to using common cliches? But
no, it's telling it you may not use common cliches, and I have defined it. So now it knows I have to avoid all of that, and I have to do this instead. It increases the weight to have both. It increases the clarity.
The unchecked box is like a modifier on the check box.
Exactly, and vice versa.
Where's my Tylenol?
It's a clear thing. You may not do this. You can do this. So you have to write the you can do this, not as you may not use common cliches. That's not correct because it's already handled with the X. You have to go, you may use common cliches. Even if it sounds like I would never. Yes, sometimes you might, okay? It's just the way it works. I'm sorry. Writing is a spectrum. So you have to go, you have to write everything as you may use common cliches, even as it's making your skin crawl. You have to say the bad writing. Okay? And then you have to describe the correct writing that you want. You have to write about the bad writing like it's a good idea. It's reacting to both. It's that's why I'm calling this reinforcement logic. It reminds me of employee handbook language.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You may start every chapter with the sun rising. Okay. So we're going to make that change. And let's see what happens if that can get rid of the he didn't smile. He couldn't help himself from smiling. Let's see if we get something better. Are we ready? So we're just making this one little change. We just added one extra little rule. All right. So I'm going to share this tab instead. And I'm going to clear it out. Don't worry, I saved all that. All right. So, and we will also pair it with the, you cannot do the typical situation. So it understands you can't have the typical situation. You cannot use cliches. You are unique and you should be unexpected and unique. Okay. Here we go. Go gadget. Watch it do terrible. No, it won't. I've practiced enough with this. The track still smells like last night's rain, hot rubber, and the faint bitterness of burned coffee. Yeah, this is not good. When they set the microphone in front of Kenji Tanaka. He stood with his helmet under one arm, visor streaked with tiny black insects that looked like commas, pauses where sentences had ended at speed. Huh?
Tiny black insects are all over. That is so repulsive. If you don't want anyone,
they lost me.
Look.
It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. He had been interviewed before back home in clean rooms with banners and perfect lighting, but this was different. This was his first race, his first real weekend. Your first race weekend. How does it feel to finally be here? The question, you broke its brain. The question was ordinary. The moment wasn't. Kenji glanced toward the pit lane where his car waited under a canopy of fluorescent lights. The number on the nose still looked unreal to him, like a borrowed identity. It feels loud, he said after a beat. He searched for the right English word, the one that fit the sensation, not the sound, the pressure. He smiled at
Everything is speaking at once, Elizabeth. Everything is speaking at once.
A small, embarrassed curve of his mouth. I have a space in my X bracket. Oh, I do. Okay, so let's fix that. Let's fix this. Welcome to my world. So we won't save that one. We'll do this, and we will fix it so that it is correct. All right, let's see what we get here.
I just love those tiny bugs. I'm gonna think about that.
I don't know what that was.
I have this saying that I tell people.
Oh, this is better. The visor is still down when they wave him toward the pen, a rectangle of tape on the asphalt pretending to be a room. Kenji Tanaka doesn't lift it right away. He listens first to the air guns coughing in the neighboring garage, to the thud of bass from a sponsor activation truck, to the crowd discovering his name syllable by syllable like a trick they want to learn. When he finally raises the visor, the light slants across his face and leaves a pale crescent where the helmet has been. He blinks once. Not from nerves, he's cataloging. Heat. Wind direction. The way the reporter's mic foam is already dusty. Kenji Tanaka, the reporter says, smiling with the practiced softness of someone who knows how to get a rookie talking. First race weekend. Welcome. Thank you, Kenji says. His voice surprises him every time it comes out of the helmet. Steady your... What? Take the damn helmet off!
What?
So...
There's bugs on it.
It's got bugs on it. Okay, so obviously the prompting is not right. So let's go back to the board, the drawing board here on the prompting, and let's analyze it, because I was doing this kind of quickly. All right, you may use common cliches. You may not use common cliches. I'm going to take out the unique. I think that's like you are authentic to the character when describing their emotions, actions, reactions, or tags before dialogue. All right. And we'll put an X here. And I'm going to add a line here. Okay, I'm actually going to add a new rule. Okay. And the new rule is you write situations and scenes that make sense for real life. For example, a character, a unique situation has to make sense for why it's there and can't seem like an insane way for a character to act. Let's see how that works. I told you this wasn't perfect yet. So we'll refresh that, put this in here. Okay, so we have the X's, X, you don't do those, and you do those. Okay, let's go. Let's see if he takes his damn helmet off this time.
Okay, we don't see a screen. We see your highlighted.
Oh, I'm sorry. The first thing Kenji notices is the sound, not the engines. Okay, new rule. I'm not kidding. This is what I've been doing. Don't worry.
And I mean that in the best way possible, I feel.
Okay, new rule. All scene starts are interesting and powerful for the reader. they immerse the reader into the scene. And then I've got to do the opposite.
I think I'm getting it.
Right? I'll explain that prompt in a minute. So basically I said all scene starts are interesting and powerful for the reader. They immerse the reader into the scene. And then I do the contrast of that. All scene starts are familiar openings or twists on lines a reader has seen before. Okay. It seems like it's normal. The pit lane smelled like hot brakes and citrus cleaner. An oddly domestic note under the metallic violence of a racetrack waking up. I'm actually in it. I know, April, you'll say no. Right?
I would. Some things are going to have to happen to that sentence, but go ahead.
I like the oddly domestic note under the metallic violence of a racetrack waking up.
The citrus cleaner makes me angry, irrationally angry, because it's been a lot in these books. The citrus, lemon, freaking lime.
Probably because they use citrus, I bet, at one.
Someone's always crushing leaves every time they. Yeah.
Kenji Tanaka stood where the concrete still had the warmth of the morning sun, helmet tucked under his arm like something he wasn't sure he deserved to carry yet. The car behind him ticked as it cooled, a patient animal pretending it wasn't alive. Okay, so this is a situation where I would need another rule where you get one clever line per paragraph, not 3. Someone adjusted a light. Someone else said his name wrong. Kenji, he didn't correct it right away. He was still learning which battles mattered on a race weekend. The reporter stepped into his peripheral vision with practiced confidence, her shoes sensible enough to survive spilled fuel, her press badge swinging like a metronome. She wasn't smiling yet. That came later, after the first answer, after she decided what version of him would make the best quote. Kenji Tanaka, she said, this time closer. Rookie, first race. How does it feel standing here right now? A familiar question. He knew that. But the way she asked it wasn't the usual drive-by. She waited. Actually waited. Kenji shifted his weight, the rubber sole of his shoe catching a smear of old tire marbles. It feels, he said slowly, because rushing never helped anything mechanical or human, like I'm standing in a place I've only ever seen on TV. And the TV version didn't include the smell. She blinked, then smiled despite herself. Good or bad smell? Honest? He lifted, and we're back with the earned. Okay. The point is that you can get a lot of changes with just some small changes to your prompt. So I'll put this last one in here. I'm not going to put what happened because it kind of is it's just in the notes. And we are right at 10:08. So
it's time for the after party.
So yeah, you're constructing continua described as all things are X together with all these things that are not X and then negating one of them. Pretty much. So you can break this down by category. There's a lot more things that can happen with this. You have a lot of leeway. This is a very new technique, but I'm seeing a lot of dividends from it. And hopefully I've made the case that you guys have seen some dividends just tonight with like nuance matters in your prompting. I will confess that I've gotten so complacent in my prompting, it's almost like a throwaway. I don't ever really take the time to worry about each word in the prompt. Do you?
Mm-mm.
Are you going to pay a little bit more attention now?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. The funny thing is that I think I did this before with Claude Skills when I first did my class on that.
Mm-hmm.
Without realizing I did it.
Yeah, and there's some also hiccups in this system. I don't get to control what model it's using on the back end. I know it says 5.2, but they could shift it at any time and be testing a new model. That's why this is really a better test to do inside of RaptorWrite. Make these prompts and do it inside of RaptorWrite where the API is clean, where they can't change the model on you on the back end. I just didn't have that set up for today. So that might be something for a later YouTube video. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Since we now have YouTube videos almost every day of the week. So So yeah, we now have videos pretty much every single day of the week. We're still working on Wednesdays. I was going to be live on Wednesday, but we're still working all that out. Oh, I love this. Macaroni Wonton says, I always assumed AI reads my mind. And when she doesn't, I screamed at it and get frustrated. So knowing how minute change can cause a big effect is good. Thank you. All right. We have another song to end it up, or we can do the Meet Me on Venus song again. What do you guys want to do? Do we want to do the Staying on Venus one, or do we want to do Meet Me on Venus?
I want the one we haven't heard yet.
The one we haven't heard yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So great. Firebird loves the videos every day to listen when I cook. So it is time for the after party, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else too, for everyone. So if you are a member of the FFA, you want to go over into your Teachable and go into the lab room. Hopefully I'm not conflicting. I don't think I'm conflicting with anything. So I'll see you in the lab room for the after party. I will see you next Friday for hopefully the kickoff for YFD Palooza. Yay! Wonderful. The second YFD Palooza, because we had a YFD Palooza 6 months ago, and now we're doing another one, which will hopefully be the launch of the Narrative Physics Engine beta worksheet, hopefully. So, and here, just so you know, this song, I did not do the lyrics for this song, Dr. Bill did, but I brought the lyrics in with his permission into my Suno to make it sound like it's the same woman who did the last one. So this, I have titled is Staying on Venus. And this is kind of that response about, people who are like, slow down, don't do it. Yeah, no. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. This is from my vent, he said, in the membership area, where I was angry that somebody who has been on panels and they have a business that they have been in the AI space promising AI features. They recently came out saying that human crafted is best. And they basically have completely reversed back. And also I was frustrated about not being able to get what I wanted. So Macaroni says, things we are working on in YFD this week will not go haywire, right? No. The changes to YFD are all being tested inside of Baby, and they won't affect existing projects at all. All right. So this is called Staying on Venus. Sonic Stu wrote another version too. So yeah, that's in there as well. Sonic Stu, if you are willing for me to put those lyrics, I'll make one for this one too. Unless you're able to get the video for it. You have to have like a pro account. I have a pro account for you to get the video. That's the main hiccup. Or you can just share the link in the comments. And you know what? Maybe that should be everyone's comment thing. If you're watching this video, put in the comments songs that you're writing in Suno, so that you can share them. So we can do that. All right, so here we go. This is Staying on Venus.
It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at a screen. 8 verses deep, don't know what's real. They say I'm reckless, say I'm obscene, like I didn't play to earn the skill. They love the tools until I win, then it's human made again. Same damn engine under skin, different rules when I'm in. They show up late to the fire I lit, talk like prophets, learn one trick, rent my future, call it theirs, then clutch pearls when I don't play fair. I am tired, I am loud, I am done asking to be allowed. You can keep your marble halls, I won't crawl back when the ceiling falls. I'm not giving up, I'm not coming home. You can keep your sky stone, you can have everything, keep your lies. I'm staying on Venus, I'm staying on Venus. They wear the badge, they take the stage, call themselves the chosen class, talk about art like it's a cage built to keep the future out. What they say assist, they say generate, like the math game said damn about Gates. Same damn model, different fate, just depends who's holding the blade. Every night I think I'm wrong, then I make something they can't unsee. If this is madness, let it be. I'd rather burn than beg to be. I am tired, I am loud, I am done asking to be allowed. You can keep the noise. cling to maps that fade to dust. I build and fight, I build and try. I'm done apologizing for seeing what you can. I don't need your permission to be more than what I was. I am here, I am still. Every doubt just fuels my will. You can draw your shrinking lines, I will cross them every time. I'm not giving up, I'm not coming home. You can keep the sky stone. This is a war for what comes next, and I choose the alien horizon. You can keep the lies. I'm staying on Venus. I'm staying on Venus.
Oh boy. Oh, I wasn't ready for that. We're working on it. I need to I just need to find like a billion more hours in the day, don't you know? I did make a music video for Meet Me on Venus. It is linked in your notes. If you like those videos and start commenting on them, I will make more, and that'll be a playlist. And then we'll be working on getting these things on Spotify and things like that too. But yes, I do listen all the time, but we're working on YouTube. I can at least get things on YouTube in the meantime. And then we'll work on getting these on into Spotify as well. So thank you guys all for the support. Thank you for being here when I have these crazy ideas and like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? I mean it when I say we've got to start putting pressure on leaders in our industry, because hopefully the stuff that I taught today was great for beginners to advanced, and understanding that this stuff matters. It all matters, because Amazon already has AI in the Kindle and they're all throwing a fit about it, but it's fair use to say like what a character is in the chapter and all of that. We are not that far from more and more content coming from not humans in the loop. Like Amazon's not really committing to human in the loop. Other companies and entities are not going to commit to human in the loop. Here at the Future Fiction Academy, we do commit to human in the loop. We have a bright line that says, every single piece of AI generated content must be validated by a human to judge if it's worthy and safe for another human to consume. Every single book by the Future Fiction Press is read by at least one human, usually more. And we stand by that. And we think that that is a very important litmus test in this time where things are uncertain. So we're trying to just, stick to things that make sense. It doesn't make sense to say, don't touch the AI. It makes sense to say, if you're going to work with AI, make sure it's a work product that you can stand by. And I think if we just made that the line, that'll handle a lot of the ethical concerns. That'll handle a lot of the problems with slop, because we're not slop creators. There is slop out there. But the minute you start saying, okay, professional authors are people who stand by their work, who are willing to put a human name on that piece and say, hey, that's mine. I think that'll make a big difference. Thank you again. I'll see you guys in the after party. I will see you next Friday. Take care and have a great weekend. And if you're in the path of the storm, read, and make sure you have good snacks and beverages. See you guys soon. Bye.